Ladies and gentlemen, the global economy is in the midst of a significant upheaval. The old rules-based international order centered around the US is in retreat, giving way to a much more fractured multipolar world. The rapid pace of technological change is stirring up great hopes and equally fast fears. And last but not least, an escalating nature, biodiversity, and climate crisis calls for a green transition of almost every business in every region and sector. So, despite all the gloomy op-eds about deindustrialization, it is not just Germany that is feeling the pressure. 52% of the companies represented in the Fortune 500 in the year 2000 have since gone bankrupt, been acquired, or otherwise ceased to exist. And according to our global CEO survey, 45% of today's CEOs believe that if their company doesn't change course, it will not be viable in 10 years. Most of you will already know where this is headed. Business as usual is over. With pressures mounting on all sides, you either set yourself up to succeed through these massive changes, or you risk being overturned and becoming obsolete. As a professional services firm, PwC knows this situation inside and out. We encounter it in our client work, and we are subject to the same dynamics. We administer the medicine and take it ourselves. Only that makes us credible consultants, advisors, and auditors. Take sustainability. Understandably, companies feel bombarded with red tape at the moment. There is the CSRD, the CSDDD, the EUDR, CBAM, and at least a dozen more acronyms. There is the Lieferketten-Sorgfaltspflichtengesetz, which led to many CFOs and German teachers tearing out their hair. And there is the EU greenwashing directive that challenges those who overpromise and underdeliver on their sustainability claims. We help companies implement these regulatory requirements. That takes time and effort. Yes, but there are upsides as well. The data companies collect on the way can also be used to improve their management. Energy efficiency, for example, is cost efficiency. A fact we happily discovered when we reduced our CO2 emissions per employee by more than 85% over the last 10 years. Switching to 100% renewable energy, adapting our travel behavior, all of that saves not just energy and CO2, but money as well. We also address the trust issues we and many other companies encounter in this increasingly volatile, politically charged environment. Is what this company reports about its sustainability progress true, or is it just greenwashing? Can you trust another organization's claims about its financial success? As auditors, we put them to the acid test. Yet, if they make it to the other side, the trust their stakeholders and society put in them will be measurably affirmed. But then come the next elections, an unforeseen change in economic policy, or the latest return in global events, technology, or extreme weather, all to remind us how VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous things remain. my central thesis for today is that a bit of transformation, a bit of change, and a bit of adaptation won't suffice to overcome this deep-rooted polycrisis. After all, we've been doing a bit of environmental protection for decades. Just as there is hardly a company out that doesn't do at least something digital or a bit of AI. Heck, some of us have even written a LinkedIn post to save democracy. But for some reason, the challenges keep escalating. As business people, you probably know why a little strategy at best leads to a little success. That's why the most successful companies own their category. They have become synonymous with large parts of the internet, smartphones, electric cars, or intelligent chatbots. They are not just adapting to change, they are the change. With a little strategy or a bit of change, you might win a match, but the grand slam is certain going to somebody else. At PwC, we therefore no longer just talk about transformation. Transformation is everywhere, whether you want it or not. Instead, we are all about reinvention. We believe that for many companies and maybe even entire societies today, it's about reinventing ourselves, questioning our long-standing models, and installing new operating systems. How does that relate to us at the Impact Festival? To put it bluntly, organizations that view the changes happening around us as just another task they have to do are unlikely to become the global leaders in the massive shift of meaning and capital that's coming our way. We believe that the global economy is going through many reinventions right now. Take mobility. There are multiple changes going on at once. One, just like everything else, cars, phones, and bikes have become digital as much as physical products. Their UX has to stack up to that of Google, Apple, or GPT-4. And if they don't look great on Instagram or TikTok, their days might be numbered. Two, 2034, 2040, 2050 fossil fuels are on their way out. We are in the midst of the EV evolution, and the pressure for ships, trucks, and planes to stop using non-sustainable fuels is on. Three, hundreds of cities have implemented measures to reduce individual car use. I could go on, but the point is clear. Mobility is being reinvented as we speak. Or look at the way we build. Today, buildings account for about a quarter of global energy-related emissions. Cost and schedule overruns have become the norm in the construction sector. And the industry is still largely under-digitized and grappling with volatile material prices and increasing labor costs. Or, in other words, it's an other industry ripe for disruption. And the same goes for healthcare, which is moving towards prevention and personalization. We believe that the entire R&D process will be reinvented beyond 2030. It goes for manufacturing, which must become cleaner, greener, and far more agile. For energy, that is shifting from central to distributed green generation. And it goes for food, a third of which is lost or wasted every day, as millions go hungry and billions cannot afford to eat healthily. Soil erosion, climate change, and the loss of biodiversity also look like a recipe for disaster. All of these reinventions are demanding and capital intensive, but they offer considerable opportunities. Many technologies, products, and services needed for this future have yet to be scaled. Others have yet to be invented. And whoever gets there first will set new standards. The recipe for authentic, sustainable, long-term success. Remember that in our global CEO survey, 45% of CEOs felt their companies could cease to exist if they continued on their current path. That number shrinks for CEOs taking action to address climate-related opportunities and risks. These climate-forward CEOs also report higher profit margins and revenue growth than their peers. So, where does that leave us here at this startup fair for impact investing? I believe more organizations will transform themselves to avoid being left behind. These transformations will move beyond creating a few new products or optimizing a few processes. Increasingly, they will be about fundamentally rethinking and reinventing all parts of a business. And I believe that no company can do this on its own. These are network plays. They are about entire value chains, reaching from investors to corporates, alliance partners, startups, and back again. That's why we partner with big tech companies, invest in startups like Ecolytic, or in leading climate tech VC funds such as World Fund, or support initiatives like Enkelfähig. In other words, growing parts of the world economy will become a startup fair for impact investing. So we are just in the right place. Welcome to the Impact Festival 2024.